YouTubers, Electric Adventures here with a package and pickup video with a special guest. This is Mittens, new member to our family. It's my eldest daughter's kitten that she got for her birthday last week. Apparently Mittens wants to help me open the package because it's got lots of nice shredded paper in it. I'm not going to lift the box up, it's not heavy, it's just big. It's basically a Panasonic Blu-ray player stereo system box, and it has lots and lots of shredded paper. So I'm going to put that there and set the cat on it. And there's quite a few varied items in here. Some are going to be duplicates. Yes, the cat likes the shredded paper. Well, there we go, there's one use for shredded paper. And they're a mixture of games for two systems and a spare of a system that I love. It was worth getting this for the price I got it just for the games that I've got in here that I don't have in my collection. Plus obviously, you know, a few to go I can trade with other people and things. So I have a complete Australian printed copy of Zaxxon. So this is the Australian plastic packaging produced by Hess in Sydney under licence. The case is very good with game instructions and an overlay from another game, which I might have to reunite with the game. I don't quite recognise the game yet. It's not what I'm familiar with. I actually have virtually no overlays for my Coleco games at all. Actually, I don't think I have any overlays for my Coleco games. So that's the first one. Now, next one is another game that I have, but I don't have it boxed, and this is the US box of Jumpman Jr. It's actually quite a good game. Multiple languages, a few different screens, so it's a platformer. The box is okay. The cartridge looks pretty good too. So as I said, I'll have quite a few more cartridges to add to my trade list after this. And speaking of trade list, I really must do a trade video. So we have a slightly tatty proof of purchase and a manual with a little bit of thing, but I don't think I had a Jumpman Junior manual, and the cartridge is in good condition as well. I won't take it all completely out because we may have some issues. Now next, squinting over there, yes, I already have a complete copy of this, so this is up for trade as well. We have Space Panic in pretty good condition. Space Panic is obviously based on the original Apple Panic and the arcade game Space Panic, and that's in really good condition. You can see how the plastic goes a little yellow over time. These ones don't feel brittle, they feel nice and soft, so they've been stored out of the sun and are in pretty good condition. Next we flip over to the Atari 2600, so the other games in here are for the Atari 2600, and it's actually a cardboard boxed version of this game. I've only seen the Australian plastic version of California Games. It's a fairly simple game on the 2600, but it's always nice getting, so just so you can see the variant on the cartridge label. So, you know, PAL version. I'm not sure where this one was produced, and the manual looks to be in there as well. I'm sure I've got the Australian plastic release one of that, or maybe I don't. Not quite, can't. Yeah, it might be up there on the very top of the shelf. Okay, another one that I don't think I have the Australian cover for is Space Fury. A game that's a little bit, I suppose, a little bit like Asteroids in its layout. Not really the same game as Asteroids, although you are in the centre and things come towards you. So that's mostly complete, and that's the manual. It's just in there around the wrong way. Well, I won't show you what's behind it because it probably has the original owner's address details there. But they bought it at Big W, there you go. Big W's been around for a while, selling Coleco stuff. Next, and this is an excellent game, one of my favourite original Coleco games, and it's Pepper 2. And that one's complete as well. I believe that might be a trade as well, so there's going to be a few trades from here, and obviously I'll pick the one that's in the best condition. Now this one's obviously a bit of a so this must be an ex-rental copy, so it's actually War Games, and the rental company's cut out the front cover of that and Sub-Rock. So I didn't have either of these games. Yep, and there they are, but so no manuals. But I have both of those games, and at the very least I've got the, you know, the front cover, and they've put both of clips off the side art. Bit of a travesty them chopping up real boxes like that, but this is probably what a rental store did back in the day. Okay, next we're going flipping over to the Atari 2600. Now I don't believe I have this cartridge even loose, so it's Star Wars Jedi Arena. I'll just flip because the box is upside down at the moment. So there we go, use the paddle controller. Yeah, I definitely don't have this because I don't think I've even played it. Inside we don't have a manual, we have the cartridge. We have a little bit of label lift, I should be able to fix that. Right, another cartridge that I only have loose, so it's nice to get a box one, is Donkey Kong Jr. Quite a good version on the Coleco. Has 3 of the 4 arcade screens. That plays really well. Oops, going to fall inside. And that one's complete as well. I mean, this is somebody's system that they've kept in very good condition. And another one, I do have a complete one of these as well, so let's have lots of trades of this one. So we have Looping. It's actually quite a cool game. It's quite hard. About precision flying, biplane around various things. So quite a good game. I'll try and do gameplays of all of these games if I can. Now another one that I've never played, I take it this one's for the 2600, because I've never heard of it being for the for the Atari video game system, and it's Action Force. So I don't have this one for the 2600, and I've got a complete one. So and this one does have the manual, and the cartridge is in excellent condition. Right, still going. Looks like we have some loose cartridges. The kitten is enjoying the shredded paper thoroughly. Okay, we have a loose copy of Barnstorming for the Atari 2600, and a loose copy of Moon Patrol for the Atari 2600. I definitely have. I'll have to check about the Barnstorming. I know I've got it in a multi-pack. Moon Patrol, I definitely have. So that's up for trade. Excellent game on the 2600. For the limitations of the system, it's actually quite playable. And another game that I have, Spider-Man. So do note, Colecovision games are region free. You can go anywhere in the world. All of the Atari cartridges here are PAL, so it will only work on PAL Atari 2600 systems. The good thing about collecting for the Coleco is the region freeness of it. It's always been region free, so it makes it much easier. Now we have, I couldn't see all of the things in the auction. So this is a pretty damn good condition Pooyan cartridge for the Atari 2600. Look at that label, that's excellent. And it's a different shaped cartridge too. And Pooyan is a really good fun game. I was lucky enough to get the B-card version for the MSX system. And that plays really well. It'll be interesting, and I've heard that the Atari 2600 version is quite good. So we have another one which is, oh, and this is in much better condition now. This is the Donkey Kong that they got with the system. It looks like it's brand new, and we have the instruction manual. It was it's got a couple of folds in it because it was rubber banded around it to keep it together, but this has been, you know, packed up and in storage for a while, I would say. Okay, that's probably all the games. So it's a nice lot of games added to the collection. Interesting to see what the kitten thinks of bubble wrap. Now, obviously by the games you can probably guess what the system's going to be. But first out we have a Module 1 for the Colecovision in really good condition. I'll have to check, but this looks in far better condition than my one of this. Look at that, all the labels are shiny. There's not, I mean, there's a tiny bit of dust in here, but that's about all. The pins look in really good condition, and all the labels have no marks on them. Connector looks really good too. So that's, you plug that into the front of a Colecovision, plug your Atari controllers in there, and it'll play all your Atari 2600 games as well. For those of you who aren't familiar. You know, there's being kittens underneath there. I don't want to step on that. Now, next thing is probably just the power pack. And there it is, it's the smaller power pack, which is nice. So this is a later model Australian Colecovision. The earlier one is a larger square plastic brick with ventilation holes in the side. Now we've got a miscellaneous cable here. Okay, it's just a RF extension cable and switch box, but it's the official Coleco one. The kitten is thoroughly enjoying this unboxing. Just double checking, I'll have to pick up all the shredded paper. And last but not least is the main system. As I said, it's all been packaged really well. They've obviously stored this really well as well, looked after it. And it doesn't come with a box, but okay, so here's the Coleco system itself. I mean, it is a little dusty and dirty, we'll have to give it a bit of a clean. A little bit of a mark near the insert cartridge, but the front label is in really good condition. So obviously this part of the system was a bit more used. The controllers feel nice and tight. So we'll have to see what the picture on this one's like. Obviously I'll hook it up via RF and actually see whether that new TV of mine likes the Coleco when it's normal RF and hasn't been modded to AV. Now also my current Colecovision is actually the second Colecovision I got. The one that actually had a faulty RF module. And I AV modded it to get it working. But because it was a nicer looking unit, I kept that one and I sold my other one. I mean, I only had one spare controller with the one I let go. And I actually then regretted that because I have had some issues with my current Coleco and that got me worried. So I have been looking and I saw this lot. And there's enough games here that I didn't have to make it worthwhile. Plus I get a spare Coleco for a system that I, you know, avidly collect for and write games for. So, you know, I do need to make sure that I always have a working system. So this is going to stay as a spare. Not sure I'll keep two Atari modules. But we'll wait and see on that. Sorry, look down, my feet were being attacked. I need to plug this in and we'll give this a go. and try out some of those games. So before you go, so say goodbye, Mittens, because you probably won't be around by the time we do the gameplays. Alright, let's go do those gameplays. Okay, here we go with our first game. I just thought I'd give Donkey Kong a try. Now, just onto the unit itself. It does start up, shows something on screen, but doesn't get a clear picture. So it's either going to be the on-off switch not working or something else. I do actually have a couple of 5-volt kits, so I can, go to town repairing the unit. So, and I may even have to AV mod that one to work, because usually what goes in these things first is the power switch and or the RF module. So I will work it out, but I need to take it apart. So rather than have yet another project that is waiting on me to finish a video, I thought I'd get on with this. So let's have a quick look at Donkey Kong, because I don't believe I've ever done a gameplay of that one. So Donkey Kong on the Coleco was at the time a leap forward in what you could get on a home system compared to the Atari 2600 and television at the time. But it was a game that was written in a hurry to get out with the system, so it's not actually as good a Donkey Kong game as could have been done on the Coleco, but still, at the time, it was excellent. Now, to cut costs at the time, it was only done in a 16K ROM, so it only has 3 out of the 4 stages, which is common in Donkey Kong conversions for the home. And if you'll notice, the height of the game is reduced as well. Little things like if I go and get the hammer thing there, well, it's not too bad I suppose, but there's missing some animation there and stuff like that. It has most of the sounds. That was a bit of a cop out, wasn't it? I didn't do very well. I'll really quickly finish this. I mean, I started on skill level 1, which is not hard. It also does have this fast ladder climb, because if you start climbing a ladder and then you continue going in the direction you're going, it moves you along quicker. So not too hard to clear Donkey Kong. And you don't have any intermissions or anything as well. Oops, a bit too soon there. But anyway, there's the extra screen. I've got a lot of games to get through, so let's move on to the next one. Right, the next title is War Games, which I haven't played at all for the Coleco. Greetings, Professor Falcon. Made around, as a supporting game for the movie War Games. If you haven't seen it, an excellent game. So I wouldn't have a clue what I'm doing here. Actually, this is probably the one that had the overlay. Yes, it was. Look at that. So this is a game that actually uses the gamepad. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing, but as you can see, I probably have to actually read up on the game before I'd be able to get anywhere with this. Can't seem to do anything on that screen. Well, there we go. We've got some missiles coming in there. I probably will just watch that. I mean, as you can see, it's got, it's using, quite high resolution graphics and everything like that. I just want to see these things hit and see what happens. Or are they going? Yeah, there we go. So there are obviously some things we're supposed to be doing here to ward these off, but that's a game I'll look forward to downloading the instructions and learning how to play and having a game for the first time. So let's try our next game. Next we have Sub Rock by Sega. So let one play while the dog's barking at something. Once again, I have never played this game. Well, actually, I might have back in the day because it's going to bring back memories. So for a sub, we have to shoot the air targets and the missiles they're shooting towards us. So in a way, it's a bit like Battle Zone, but you have once you have both sea and air targets. So I don't think we have a radar. Okay, let's go the other way. This actually looks like quite a good fun game. Always miss the last one, don't I? You can see as they're doing the scaling, they're introducing more colours, so it's quite cleverly done. So, oh, there we go. Guy coming towards me, I think. Well, this looks like a good fun game. Well, it's close. But I get a lot of fun out of playing, so I look forward to playing this one a bit better. And it's actually quite a good example of, you know, a more complicated game. And yes, the graphics are still primitive by some systems. I think I'm about to die there from that guy. So the enemies are getting more complex. This might be the boss, maybe. Yeah, there we go. It might have been the end of a level, I didn't even know. There we go, get a bonus for a round clear. And then we go to round 2. Alright, that's pretty cool. Let's try the next game. So next we have Donkey Kong Jr. Once again, a fairly early release, so a little bit of a rush conversion. Although I said, saying that, you know, they've still got a fair bit of colour in the main character. Oops, no, too soon. And most of the game characteristics from the arcade game, so, you know, that's what they were. Quite a reasonable representation. So in Donkey Kong Jr. you've got to make your way to the top and rescue Donkey Kong. And you drop a piece of fruit on the jaw guys, and you get points by jumping over as well. So we go up and get the key, and that moves us on to the next stage. This is a game I used to play a lot on my Colecovision. So I'll be interested to see whether any skill and technique comes back. As you can see, even though these games were rushed, they still managed to squeeze a lot of the game's look and feel and play style into the, you know, into the game. And this is level 1, so it's a bit easier, so let's go and get something with the fruit this time. Okay, some bonus points. So you obviously go up quicker when you're doing 2 lines at a time. There we go. So I haven't lost it too much. Well, it's got nice little things. Once again, doesn't have level, inter-level sequences or anything like that, because they just chose at the time to use a smaller ROM just to keep the cost of the game out, and they developed these games very quickly. Wanted to go to the next thing to show you what the other screen's like. So here we go, here's the other screen. I'm never very good at this one. Oh, I was going to say, because I always miss that first jump where you get the shortcut. Oh, and then I fell down. But anyway, that's enough of Donkey Kong Jr. Let's move on to our next game. Okay, the next game is looping. And pull up to go up. You can speed up. You can do a full loop. You shoot the balloons. You bounce off the roof. And you've got certain targets you need to get. The missile stations. Now, in later levels, they'll be inside these environments here, and you need to shoot your way through. This is an early level, so no, not yet. Or maybe it's right at the start, actually. I haven't played it for a long time. There we go. Oops. So you've got to get all the missiles, most of them which in the later levels are in the undercover bits, unless we don't have to do it again, and then it opens the gate to the next section. So this isn't a launch game, it came out a little later. Now we need to get through this section of pipes. It's a bit of a maze. Nice flying music. One of those games that's a little bit different and is actually quite interesting to play. So we've got to get that. We're back again. We've got to get that missile. Now we've got a missile hidden underneath here, and we need to shoot through to get rid of the missile. There's more balloons, and I believe you get some other enemies and things coming at you as well. All right, that'll do with the Coleco trains. Let's go try some 2600 games. So after a bit of cleaning, I've got Puyan working. So the idea of Puyan is you have to try and stop the wolves from attacking you. And they're quite tricky. And you have the that little bar that I grabbed then. Allows you, it's sort of like a power shot. It regenerates after a little while. Get close. So I'll let one through, so then I'll put one of the wolves behind me, and I have to be careful he doesn't bite me from behind. Just like that. Now I've got the MSX version of this, which is quite impressive, but this, for the Atari 2600, is quite a playable game. Ah! Damn it. Need to use our super shot, which I missed everybody with. Ooh, that was close. So after you've done a certain number, so obviously the one we let through is still down the bottom, you have to carry through your mistakes. Now they're trying to get up to the top. Oops! Oh, you got me from behind. And everyone up the top will push that rock further to the edge, and obviously if it gets to the end, it gets you. Ooh, that was close. And it's the very fact that you have to look in several directions at once. So there we go, we've got two wolves up there pushing the rock now. Oops, oh, and he got me again. Well, there we go. was that 1280 for my first go of a game I've never played. That is a very respectable version of Pool Yam. I don't know how rare it is, but I'm really impressed at getting it. I've never seen the cover for it either, so it'll be interesting to see the cover one. I'll download one to put next to this video. Alright, we'll try one more game. I know my paddles aren't very good. Replacement paddles were part of that lost auction before Christmas. So I'll just do Action Force, and that'll be our last demo for this video. Right, here we go with Action Force. Didn't have any trouble loading this one at all. I don't know what I'm doing here, so I don't think we've started. We'll reset. I'm starting to suspect. Right, when I press right, I get a shot. This wasn't a paddle game as well, was it? Excuse me while we do live instruction looking at. Plug a set of paddles into the left controller back and a controller into the right. So this is another game that requires paddles. Probably a bit why these games you can find them, if you know what I mean, like the Jedi Arena and the Action Force. It's because they were paddle games, not everybody had the paddles. So maybe when I finally get a working set of paddles, or manage to work out how to clean my existing ones so that they work properly, they jump all over the place, which is a real tragedy, as I love playing Kaboom. We'll be able to play this, and this game looks, you know, visually striking and very good. So excellent addition to the collection. I just need to fix some of my equipment. So thank you for watching this video. Thanks to all my subscribers, and I'll catch you all later.